Hello, my name is Paul Jegede. So I recently started working for RDF. My background is as a sports rehabilitator, but I have some history in basketball, I have some history in volleyball as well. So what I'm going to be doing with the team is just looking at some general conditioning of like the joints. Going to look at some flexibility. Going to look at warm-ups also, and then just some sport-specific exercises which is going to help the athletes benefit from these sessions. So we're splitting it into 2 sessions. So there's going to be under 12s to under 14 session and under 16 to under 18 session. So I hope you lot enjoy, and let's get ready. Okay guys, so for the warm-up we are going to start off by increasing your heart rate. So what we want to do is, this can be anything. So if you have a skipping rope handy, that would be perfect, be ideal. So it can either be skipping, we can do some jogging, we can just do some like squat jumps, mountain climbers, anything that you find raises your heart rate. So what we're going to do, so we're just going to start with 3 minutes of some heart-raising exercises. So whether this is going to be skipping or not, if you're unable to do it for 3 minutes straight, then we can break it into intervals. So do a minute of high intensity, then do 30 seconds of medium intensity, back to a minute of high intensity, and then 30 seconds medium again. So it's going to start with some skipping. So there's different variations. We can do skipping, we can do double leg, high knees, and if you're really skilled, you can add some doubles into it as well. I'm aware that not everyone might have a skipping rope, so what we can do instead, there's 2 other exercises that we can do. So we can do some star jumps, or we can do some high knees. And so let me just demonstrate what they're going to look like. So star jump, start with your hands by your sides and out. And then the other exercise that we can be doing is high knees. So I'm gonna stand, feet roughly shoulder width apart, and it's, you really wanna make sure you're bringing your knees up. Make sure you're not letting your trunk fall forwards like that, keeping your body nice and upright. The next exercise that we're going to be doing, which is also going to help raise your heart rate, is going to be foot fire. So you lot might be familiar about this from practice. I'm sure your coaches must have gone through this with you, but I'm going to demonstrate it for you. So what we're going to do, feet roughly shoulder width apart. We're going to get into kind of quarter squat position, hands out as if you're playing defense, and on your toes as fast as you can. You want to keep your chest nice and high. So again, you're not going to be falling forwards like this. You're not going to put the pressure on your back, so you keep it nice and upright. So this is going to be done for a minute, so get ready and wait for the timer. So the next part of our session is just going to look at a bit of dynamic stretching. So this is just to help with mobility and just prepare the body for the session that we have planned for later on. So I'm just going to go through just a couple of general stretches that we're going to be doing, but further on in the session there is going to be a flexibility aspect to it. So what we're going to be doing at first is I just want to start with some sweepers. So this is focusing on the hamstrings. So gonna have one foot forwards, gonna go nice and low and sweep. Nice and low and sweep.
On the side, on the other side, and then...
So the leg at the back can have a slight bend in it, but it's the foot at the front you want completely straight. And with your hands facing forwards, you wanna try to sweep as low as you can and bring it back up. So the next stretch we're going to be looking at is going to be focusing on our quads and our hip flexors. So this is really important in basketball as you use your legs for a range of different movements. So for this movement, the first variation is opposite hand to opposite leg. So left hand to right foot, right hand up, and as you pull your leg backwards, you reach up. So I'm going to show you this from a side profile. So opposite hand, opposite foot, right arm, and as you bring this foot out like that, you stretch as high as you can. So the other variation to this is a scorpion stretch. So it's going to be same hand to same leg, and this is a harder variation than the stretch before. Same hand to same leg, reach up, and what I want you to do is I want you to try reach down towards your toes. So this adds a little bit of hamstring into it, but it really focuses on your quads and your hip flexors. Okay guys, so for the next exercise on stretch, we're gonna need something. It could be a lamp post, it can be a wall, anything that you can just kind of balance your body on whilst you're doing this movement. So this is going to start looking towards your adductors and also your groin and just like your hip mobility in general. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to hold onto the pole, and then there's two ways we're going to do this. So we're going to do it once facing either the wall or the pole, any object that you're holding onto, and then the other side we're going to be parallel to it, so our side towards it. So to begin with, I'll start parallel with it. So I'm going to stand, and then what I want you to do is imagine your leg is like a pendulum. So you're going to swing your leg forward and back. You're going to try to go as high as you can. Either way. And then we're going to change and do the same on the opposite leg. The second variation is when we are facing the pole. So you are going to have both hands or legs on, and then you're going to swing across your body, making sure you're really opening up your hip. And we're going to do this on both legs. So a tip is when you're swinging your leg out, you're really making sure you're relaxing and trying to open up that hip as wide as it can go, and then you're going to swing all the way back through. The final stretch that we're going to be doing is going to be focusing on the calf. So this is just to get a bit of movement and mobility through your gastroc and soleus. So the movement we're going to be doing is you can find a bed, a chair, a table, even a wall. And then what we're going to be doing, we're going to have both hands pressed on it, and you're going to be feet next to each other like this. As one foot is up, the other one's down. And we're going through our movement back and forth. Really want to make sure you're pushing your heels down to the floor to get that stretch up your calf. So we're going to start off the session with just a bit of general conditioning. So the joint that we're going to be looking at today is mostly going to be the ankle. So the muscle that causes plantar flexion, which is the pointing of your toes, is your gastrocnemius, which is your calf muscle. So what we're going to start off by doing is we're doing 3 sets of calf raises, but each set is going to be a different variation of calf raise. The first set of calf raising, it's going to be feet parallel, facing directly forward. So what I want is 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down. So you're going to go up and down, up, down, up. So the next variation that we're going to be doing is we are going to be doing your feet outwards. This works your lateral calf, so the outside of your calf muscles. So you're going to have feet facing out, heels closer together, and you're going to go up, really making sure you're pushing your feet outwards. And for the final variation, what we're going to be doing is feet, toes close together, heels facing outwards. So this starts to work the medial calf. So this is the inside of your calf muscle. So go in. If you find yourself losing balance, have like a chair or a wall next to you that you can just help to get your balance. Remember, it's 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down. Okay, that's complete. So when you are going up into the calf raise, you really want to make sure that you're going up over your toes instead of pushing your feet outwards. So this can be done by watching your knees track over your big toe. And the final coaching tip would be when you're coming down, it's in a slow and controlled manner. So you'll feel it, it might feel a little bit shaky, but what you want to do is you want to lower yourself nice and slowly, and then it's more of an explosive push up and it's a lower slowly. So remember, 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down. Okay, so for this exercise, we're going to be doing a single leg hold, like balance. So this we're going to try and do so looking over the shoulder, or we're going to have our eyes closed or use a cushion, whichever one you find is more beneficial for you. So this is working on the proprioception in your ankle, so your ankle being able to react to outside stimuli, such as like being knocked in basketball, your ankle being able to recognize that and being able to adjust the position. So in this we are doing 2 30-second holds on each ankle, and it will be as demonstrated. So one variation is going to have up on your foot, and you're going to be looking over the opposing shoulder, try to keep your balance. If you're finding that too easy, then we can add eyes closed to the equation. So having your eyes closed and balancing for that 30 seconds. And what we're going to count in these 30 seconds is how many times you make a mistake, so that's touching the floor, having to touch the wall, anything like that. And if that is still too easy, put it like a couch cushion on the floor and try to balance on top of that couch cushion. So speaking about ankle health, so we're just gonna show you a couple exercises that you should be doing as often as you can, hopefully at least once or twice a day. So this is just some ankle flexibility techniques that we can be using. So you find yourself something elevated, what you're gonna do is you're gonna have your foot on top of it, and what I want you to do is I want you to lunge over your big toe. So you want to make sure your knee is going over your big toe. So you go in all the way over. You're going to make sure you're not lifting your heel off the floor. So knee all the way over your toe and back. And go all the way over. So for that stretch, we are doing a 5-second hold once you've lunged over your ankle, and what I want you to do is we're doing 5 repetitions of that in 2 sets. So now we're going to be looking towards more sports specific exercises, which are going to have a higher output towards power. So this first exercise that we're going to be doing is called pogos. So the pogo it's literally a small jump that we're going to be doing repetitively, and in this it works on your tendon stiffness, so being able to keep tendon stiffened, generate power. So for this exercise, I'm gonna start feet a bit narrower, then shoulder width apart, and then it is so the tips for this exercise is you're not going to allow the jump to come from the knees, so it's not into a squat jump and up. It's more just allowing your feet to attack the floor. So you're gonna jump, land on your toes, and just take in the force and reproduce it. So you want to try to keep your knees relatively straight as possible, and you'll really feel this in your Achilles tendons and in your gastrocnemius. So this is to help with explosiveness. So in basketball, this will translate to skills such as rebounding, even has aspects to like cutting, where you're putting your foot down and giving the force back out in another direction. Yeah. Okay, so for pogos, we are doing as many as you can do in 30 seconds, and we're doing 3 sets of 30 seconds. So the next exercise that we're going to be doing is called skaters. So skaters is really similar to cutting in basketball, where you're going to be going in and then reproducing that force going back in that opposite direction. So what we're going to be doing is you're going to be jumping from left to right, controlling over your knees, so you're not just letting yourself fall, and we're not adding a double hop in between. So this will be as demonstrated. So roughly you want to set a marker, so you're going to start feet together, so 1 step to the left and then 1 step to the right is where you're going to set your markers. So in this case, I'm just going to put down 2 things as my marker. So this one TheraBand and then this one. So you're going to start in the middle, and then you're going to jump, control over, control, control. But what you want to do is you want to try be as explosive as possible. So at first you're going to be doing it slow and controlled, and then once you're able to do that, it's really fast. So you're going to go there, 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 there. Tips for this exercise. So you're seeing what I'm doing with the opposing leg. to help keep my hips nice and square. So I'm bringing that leg as I'm landing over to try and keep my balance here. So I'm not just letting that leg kind of hang out, I'm not tilting my body, keep my body nice and square, bringing that knee in and then pushing it out for that change of direction there. If you are finding it difficult to do, what you can do is you can bring the markers closer together until you're able to cover a larger distance. This next exercise we're going to be doing is high skips. So this is very translatable to layups in basketball, as it's going to be the same shape that you're going to be creating in basketball, which is going to be bringing that knee nice and high and then opposite hand up as well. So what we're going to be doing is generating as much power as we can. We want to try to get as high as possible on each jump. So we can do this either on the spot or traveling. So you go. You want to make sure you keep your chest up nice and high, so you're creating a nice tall shape. You want to try and bring your knee as high as you can without allowing your torso to fall forwards. So this is starting to work on the strength of your hip flexors, being able to drive them as high as possible. And on the landing, which is very important, you want to make sure you're absorbing the force properly, so it's not a stiff landing. It's you land and then you let your knees take a lot of the pressure out of it. So in increasing your kind of jump height and power, so we're going to be doing something that's really sport specific, which is the gather step. So being able to perform the gather step as fast as possible to transfer that weight from going forwards to going upwards. So we're just practicing going through these movements. So it's going to be as demonstrated. So you're going to go one step forwards, it's a large step, and then you're bringing this and it's up onto your toes. So it's going to demonstrate that one more time. So it's one large step, bring in, and up onto your toes. So if this is fast, it's going to be looking more like so what I want you to do is you're going to be doing 3 sets of 10, but you're going to do it traveling a distance. So you can start doing 5 in one direction, 5 in another direction, or you can just kind of do it as you wish. So it's going to be making sure you bring your arms back and dragging them through for your jump. So this is just recreating the positions that you'll be in when you're jumping. This is more for 2 feet jumping. So this exercise is the Bulgarian split squat. So on this exercise, we're really working on our quad strength, and it's also just working on just control of your limbs as well. You're gonna need a chair again or a bench. You're gonna have your foot on the back. And then what you want to do, once you get your balance, you're going to go as low as you can and then back up. When you come back up, you do not want to straighten your leg. You want to stay just before that just before, so you're constantly working through the range of motion. So down and back up, down and back up. So the next exercise that we're going to be demonstrating is the squat. So there's different variations of squat. So we can do a deep squat, which is good in just generating strength and working on stability. But then if you're wanting to do squats that are more transferable to basketball and more so towards like jumping, so quarter squats are important, but today we're just going to go for a general squat. Stand with your feet together, and then you're going to bring them out and then straighten up like that, and that should roughly be shoulder width apart. So in this movement, I want you to make sure you're keeping your knees forwards like this, so we're not letting our knees fall in like this. So we want to keep our knees over our toes. We want to make sure you're pushing your knees out. So we're going to come down into a squat. So with your arms, you can either have them on your hips or out in front. So I tend to have them out in front because it helps keep my chest upright. So you're going to go out, go down and up, down. From a side profile. So the coaching tips for this exercise is to not allow your knees to cave inwards. So we're going to try to keep our knees strong, forcing them outwards over your toes, and then to keep your torso upright, you really want to make sure that you're pushing your glutes out first before you bend your knees, and this helps stop you from bending your torso forwards like that. If you're struggling with balance, again, find a point on a wall, find a sign or anything just to fix your focus on, and then go all the way down and back up. This should be completed in a slow and controlled manner, and what we're doing is within 3 sets of 8 repetitions. We're going to be looking more towards the kind of knee now, and just like some movements. So we're just going to start off again with some general conditioning. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing some lunges at first. So lunges, I want to make sure that you're doing them correctly, so listen up for the coaching tips as well as watch the demonstrations to see how to perform this properly. What we're going to be doing is you're going to step back, not too far, and then what I want you to do is, instead of lunging forwards, this back knee is what you're going to drop to the floor. So you're going to go onto your toe, and then just going to drop that knee all the way down and back up. So this position, go down and up, making sure you keep your heel on the floor. What I want you to do is you're going to take a step backwards with one of your legs. So in between a full step and a half step, and then instead of lunging forwards over your front knee, what I want you to do is I want you to drop that back knee directly down to the floor while keeping your torso up straight. So I'm just going to demonstrate it for you one more time, just as I'm explaining it. So you're going to take that step backwards, roughly half step, and then you're going to go onto your toe. What you're going to try to do is keep your torso nice and upright, and then you're going to drop your knee directly down to the floor and bring it back up whilst keeping your front heel down on the ground. You're going to walk 10 paces and then put a marker on either side, and this is going to cover the distance that we're going to be lunging for. So going there is 1 set, going back is 1, so we're doing 4 all together. So it's going to be there, and back. So just going to take you through 1 or 2 stretches, just like general stretches, just going to help look after your muscles. So your hamstring and quads are the 2 that I'm really focusing on in this video. So the hamstring stretch we're most common in knowing is touching your toes. but this doesn't always have a true effect on your hamstring flexibility. So I'm going to show you another stretch which shows you true hamstring flexibility. So you're going to find a chair or a bench, and then what you're going to do is you're going to have your foot up at an angle like this. So it's not going to be flat, it's going to be at a 45-degree angle roughly. You're going to be facing the bench, and then what I want you to do is while keep your torso up straight, you're going to lean your body over your foot. You're going to hold this for 30 seconds, and then you're going to come back up, and then you're going to do it on the other leg. So we're doing this 30 seconds on each leg. Next stretch we're going to be doing is going to be working on your quad flexibility. So again, you're going to find something roughly like a chair, put your foot, the top of your foot on the chair. You're just going to lower all the way down and push your hips forwards. So if you don't have a chair, what you can do, you can get into that lunge position, hands in your hips, and then pushing forwards, you're going to feel the stretch going up your quad. The next exercise we're going to be doing is going to be single hop. So this is being able to use the power in one leg and being able just to be explosive on each jump. So we're going to travel a distance of roughly 10 paces again. So we're going to set our distance. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 10. So in this, I'm going to be on one leg and some hop. Same the other leg. So with this exercise, you want to really make sure that you're driving your knee through each swing for the jump. So you're going to be driving the opposite knee on each jump. You want to try and limit the amount of time spent on the ground, so it's really quick and explosive movements. So we are doing 2 exercises here. So the first exercise is going to be a drop and hold. So you're going to drop into a squat and then just going to explode onto our toes after. So we're going to hold and then come up onto our toes in a slow controlled fashion, And then the next exercise is going to be a drop jump, where we're going to put those two parts together and actually add the jump into it. So this will be as followed. So you're going to start on a bench. So we're going to start nothing too high. So roughly you want something that is roughly underneath knee level is what we're going to start with. So we're going to start on the bench. We're going to step off with one leg. But we're going to do this on both legs, because you'll realize it's going to be a leg that you don't prefer to drop off of and jump off of. So we're going to come down, land in the spot, and then add a little calf raise at the end. So I'll show you again. Land. But look at the difference between these two jumps. So there's like that's going to be bad for your knees, because there's a lot of pressure through it. So it's more, there you go, softer landing. And then, so we're doing 3 sets of 10 of those. On the drop jumps, we're gonna reduce the amount that we're doing, because this is gonna be really strenuous. So we're only doing 3 sets of 5 for the drop jumps. So for the drop jumps, this is it's 4 sets of 5, sorry, so 2 on each leg. So you're gonna go off, and then the opposite leg. So you'll realize there's a foot that you're not gonna prefer to jump off of, and so this is why we're gonna start training this, so that you're able to drop and deliver power off of any foot that you land on. So this last exercise, you're gonna need a line or just anything like a cone or anything in front that you're just gonna be jumping forwards and backwards over. So this is just gonna help with being explosive, moving in the sagittal plane, so forwards and backwards. So let me demonstrate the exercise that we're gonna be doing. So for this exercise, it's very important with your knee alignment that you're not allowing your knees to fall inwards. So if you look back at the video, you realize that my knees are going over my big toes. They're not falling inwards or they're not falling outwards. And you want to try to keep in a nice low position. You want to be as fast as possible going forwards and backwards throughout all of the movements. And we're going to be doing this for 30 seconds, 3 sets also. Alright guys, I just want you to start giving yourself a quick round of applause. You've lot done well today. I hope you've enjoyed the session that has been delivered to you. If you do have any questions, feel free to get in touch with me, Coach Paul, or any of the coaching staff. We'll be able to help you out with anything that you need. This session is it's looked at just general conditioning, flexibility, and some more sports specific exercises that we can be using every day to help us in our development as basketball athletes and just athletes in general. This is a message to the under 16s, to under 18s. So this is going to be a really big time for you to start working on your weaknesses. So if you you'll realize there's some exercises that you prefer more than the other ones. This doesn't mean you shy away from the ones that you are struggling more with. You put a bit more effort into those ones because that's what you're actually struggling with. I would say I roughly want you to be trying to be doing some sort of conditioning or body work roughly about 2 to 3 times a week at minimum. If you want to be basketball athletes, you need to look after your body to make sure you're recovering properly. So that's icing, that's stretching, making sure you're mobile enough now, because you'll realize when you're younger you could get away with it. Now you're getting a bit older, you need to make sure that you're stretching in the mornings, make sure you're stretching after games. Things like ice baths, staying hydrated, all that will all come with time as well. So guys, hope you lot enjoyed it. If you have any questions, find me.